Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Hello, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Your day has started off very well. We had a fantastic day yesterday, and I understand that there may be some question or confusion between principles and values. And so that's exactly, good morning, Julie. How are you? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I hope this answers all your questions. And if there are remaining questions, I'll go back through the questions from yesterday. And don't forget, we also have the Zoom call coming up on Thursday. So if there's anything lingering, we can get together as a group. Good morning, Jeannie. How are you? We can get together as a group and clarify some of these things. So we're going to be moving into some bigger things, and we're going to be stacking upon the things that we've talked about. So we're creating a foundation, and we're going to build upon that as we go. So welcome and good morning. So what are values? How do you define values? What's the difference between principles and values? Before you answer that question, we need to know what values are. Your values are what you believe to be important for the way you want to live and work in life. They determine your priorities, and deep down they help measure if your life is being guided the way you want it to. That's really what values are all about. When the things that you do and the way you behave match your values, life is usually pretty darn good. Like in times of these, you seem satisfied and content. When these don't align, your personal values, when they don't align, that's when things begin to feel, uncomfortable or wrong, or maybe there's a slight source of unhappiness. That's when things don't align. That's why beliefs and principles and values are so important, and it's so important to define those. When you're able to define those and make conscious decisions with those three areas, and you understand the difference between them all, and you have them defined, it makes life so much clearer. This is really why values exist. It's whether you recognize them or not. Because life can be so much easier when you acknowledge your values, when you understand them, and you're able to maneuver through them and make plans and decisions to be able to honor those. So that's really what values are about. I mean, if you have a value family, and let's just say family is one of your top values, and you have to work a 70-hour work week, then you might feel a little bit of internal stress or conflict. And so when we understand that value, we understand where we stand in the world. As opposed to principles, which are non-negotiables, that tells us, maybe the analogy of, and this is not a great analogy, but maybe it'll help, like principles are more like the bumpers in bowling. Or I'm sorry, values are like the bumpers. They sort of keep us guided. They're a little bit more flexible, but principles might be the bowling ball. I'll come up with a better example, but principles are more structured. They're more non-negotiables than values. Values are a little bit bendable. Hey, you know what? I value family, but I have to work this 70-hour or this 80-hour work week this week. But now if that continued for quite some time, then you would use one of your principles in order to decide what you're actually going to do about that situation, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm going to put into the group a 5-step process in order to clarify some values, and I'll put a small list. So when I do my coaching, I use the 300 values, and we narrow those down by a comparative process. But I'll put, since this is a condensed course, I'll put a list in here that you can use to narrow down to your top 3 values. And then with the suggestion, the challenge is to pick your top 3 values and then prioritize those. Number 1, number 2, number 3 in priority order. This will help guide you through your life. So now if you've done the work, you've done some principles, or you've done some beliefs, you've done some principles, and now you'll have values, and you'll have 3 of those in which to guide your daily operations, if you will. So that's step one, and I'll post that here as soon as I'm done with this video. Good morning, Melanie. What's up? Those will really help gain some clarity in life. And the more you see whether those are aligned together, whether they correlate and whether they work well together, the more you'll begin to create that clarity and be able to make clear decisions in your life. That's challenge one. Here's challenge two, because we're going to begin to move forward at a pretty rapid rate. We have a lot to cover in the course. So again, if you have questions, post them, or don't forget, the Zoom call will be on Thursday. So I'll be there to answer any questions. We'll be there as a group to collaborate and answer any questions that remain. So I want to make sure that you understand that offering. The next one is gratitude. So we want to talk about gratitude. Gratitude, and I want to talk for just a moment about forgiveness. These are big, big, big areas. Do you have a gratitude list? In the High Achievers Network, I put a post yesterday about one thing that you're grateful for. I'm going to suggest that you create a gratitude list. If you don't have one, perhaps you should create one. That was one of the best exercises that I did when I was going through my transformational moment. I created, and honestly, that was not a great time for me. That was not a great time in my life. That was a very challenging time. Here, let me pause and do this real quick. Ta-da! I wonder if anybody's catching that. What a great mug that is. Was that a commercial right in the middle of this video? Somebody's got to be laughing right now. I'm grateful for good podcasts. Sorry, I'm just being a little humorous. Melanie, I hope you caught that. But that was one of the I see some hearts. I figured you'd get a kick out of that. That was one of the greatest exercises I did when I began my transformation. And somebody challenged me to do it. So I'm going to challenge you to create a gratitude list if you don't already have one. And if you do have one, I'm going to challenge you to review it and see if it's accurate and up to date. Honestly, that time in my life, I only had one that I could put on that list. I only had one at that time. Now I have over 20 that I review every single day. I review them every single day. They're part of my planner. They're part of my morning non-negotiable ritual. So that's number two. Again, we're going to start stacking. So we're going to move quickly. This course is not for the meek. So that's challenge number two. Here's challenge number three. It's a little bit about forgiveness. Forgiveness is very important. Forgiveness is huge in life. So another one of the things that I went through during that transformation was I needed to have some exercises in forgiveness. Forgiveness is hugely important, not only for yourself, but to forgive the people around you if necessary. So I'm going to ask that for the rest of the course, you do this exercise. This is a serious challenge. And for some of you, you'll do it easily and you'll like it. And for others, you won't do it at all. And for some, you're going to be like, that is some foo-foo stuff. I know, because I experienced it too when somebody challenged me to do something very similar. And as a guy, I don't really lean toward the foo-foo stuff. That kumbaya stuff is just not I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. There's something in me that just says, I don't want to do that kind of thing. But I'm going to challenge you to do it nevertheless. So on an index card or something similar, a sticky pad or something that you can tape on the mirror in your bathroom or some place that you're going to see it every single day, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions each day. 3 questions for the rest of the course, the entirety of the course. And if you're gaining some value throughout, go ahead and feel free to post that. Not in video form. Just go ahead and you can just post some comments. So I want to be really clear about that. Here are the 3 questions. Again, my suggestion is to write these on an index card, post it on the mirror, and ask yourself each day, what do I forgive myself for? What do I forgive myself for? What do you need to forgive yourself for? This is huge. This is not for the meek. It might sound easy, but do this day in and day out for the entirety of the course, and I think you'll find some massive value in it. I want to challenge you to come up with 3 answers for each of these questions each day and see if they change for the entirety of the course. So what do you forgive yourself for? That's number 1. Number 2, and a good way to do this is to use your name. So the next question is, I commit to you that ... So what do you commit to yourself? So I would say, Brad, I forgive you for, and come up with 3 answers. Brad, I commit to you that, and come up with 3 answers. The third one is, what are you proud of yourself for? What kind of daily successes are you having, or what major successes have you had? What are you proud of yourself for? So that's the third one. I'm proud that you ... So those 3 questions, I forgive you for, I commit to you that, I'm proud of you for, I'm proud of you that you, I'm proud of you for. For the rest of the course, I want you to answer those 3 questions and have 3 answers for them each. So you can do that in your journal. Hopefully you have one of those by now. I encourage you. So as you can see today, there's some work, there's some homework, there's some seriousness. So I want to encourage you to really be serious about these exercises. These foundational exercises can change your life if you take them serious. If you actually invest, and who better to invest than in you? If you actually invest the time to complete these exercises, they have the potential to transform your life. Now, again, some of you have done work like this before. And again, some of you have not. So for some, this will seem super easy. And for others, not so much. So I hope you find value in this. I dare you to be brilliant. I dare you to be your most brilliant self, the best that you can possibly be. I dare you to be great. Bring out your greatness. Draw that out from like way down deep in here and just draw it out and put it out in the open. If you've never done these before, you'll find that there's a new knowing doing gap, and you'll use the 4 stages of learning. So in the beginning, it might take you a while. Maybe it does take you a half hour. Maybe it takes you 45 minutes. But as you begin to do these things each day, you'll find that narrows down and it becomes easier and easier and easier. And then, boom, you'll be able to do it daily with no issue and very, very quickly. And you'll begin to think this way systematically, and you can use these things as a guide. These are super foundational, and if you've never done it, it can be truly life transformational. So I want to thank you for joining me this morning. I'm going to check the questions and see what's going on. Let's make sure there's no questions in here. I know there were a couple questions, so I'll go back and answer those from yesterday. I want to remind you, please, only post videos when I ask you, and that is not, I love seeing your videos. I do, but we all have lives and work and families and business, and we're in multiple courses and we're doing all kinds of stuff, and we're all stretching and growing. So I want to be respectful to the people in the group and not overwhelm everybody. I want to stay super focused. This is about finding the one thing. It's about finding clarity. So let's stay focused in that. I see you. So thank you all for joining me. I see Jeannie's here and Julie's here. Love seeing you guys in the morning. Gals, I should say. It seems like it's all gals this morning, which is awesome. Looking for some questions, which I don't see. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll give you answers. And then I really want to encourage you to jump on the call on Thursday, because those collaborative calls are awesome, and that's a great forum to do it. So dare to be brilliant, my friends. peace.